Ever wondered how to grow pearl oyster mushrooms in a controlled environment? Well, let's embark on this fascinating journey together. Pearl oyster mushrooms, known scientifically as Pleurotus ostritus, are a popular variety among both cultivators and culinary enthusiasts. They are characterized by their delicate flavor, soft texture, and the beautiful pearl-like hue of their caps. Cultivating these gems is an art that requires precise control over certain environmental factors. Firstly, temperature plays a crucial role. Pearl oyster mushrooms prefer a cozy environment, thriving best between 12 and 24 degrees Celsius. Humidity is another key player in the cultivation game. These mushrooms need a humid environment, ideally between 70 and 85%. This mimics their natural habitat and stimulates optimal growth. Now let's talk about substrate. Pearl oyster mushrooms are not too picky, but they do favor a mix of straw and wood. It's crucial to sterilize the substrate before inoculating it with the mushroom spawn to prevent contamination. The cultivation process involves several stages. The spawn run is the initial phase, where the mycelium colonizes the substrate. This is followed by the pinning stage, where tiny mushroom pins start to appear. The fruiting stage comes next, where the mushrooms grow to their full size. Finally, we reach the harvesting stage, where the mature mushrooms are carefully plucked. To maximize yield and quality, it's vital to maintain the right conditions throughout these stages. Regularly misting the mushrooms, ensuring good air circulation, and maintaining the right light levels can make a world of difference. It's also essential to harvest at the right time. When the edges of the mushroom caps start to turn upwards, it's time to harvest. Delaying can result in the mushroom caps flattening out, which impacts the taste and texture. That's how you cultivate pearl oyster mushrooms. Quite a marvel, isn't it? Did you know blue oyster mushrooms thrive in high humidity environments? Dive with us into the world of these distinctive fungi. The blue oyster mushroom, a variety known for its unique blue hue, has a fondness for moisture, making it an ideal choice for growers in humid climates. These mushrooms are not just about the looks. Their rich, savory flavor and velvety texture captivate the palate, making them a favorite among gourmets and food lovers alike. But it's their growing parameters that really set them apart. Blue oysters require a humid environment, ideally around 70 to 90% humidity. Temperature-wise, they prefer cooler conditions, with an optimal range between 12 and 20 degrees Celsius. These mushrooms also need good air circulation and a moderate amount of light to grow robustly. Now let's talk about substrate preparation and spawn inoculation. The substrate is the material on which your mushrooms will grow. For blue oysters, a mix of straw and wood chips often works best. Once your substrate is ready, it's time for spawn inoculation. This involves adding the mushroom spawn to your substrate, a process akin to planting seeds in a garden. Once your spawn is thoroughly mixed with your substrate, it's time to design your fruiting chamber. This is where your mushrooms will go from tiny pins to full-grown fungi. A fruiting chamber for blue oysters should maintain high humidity and good air circulation. Finally, we reach the exciting part, harvesting. Blue oyster mushrooms should be harvested when the edges of their caps begin to turn upwards. To harvest, simply twist and pull the mushroom at the base. And that's the secret to cultivating blue oyster mushrooms. A bit humid, but definitely worth it. These delicious fungi are well worth the effort, promising a bountiful harvest for those who can provide the right conditions. So why not give blue oyster mushrooms a try? You might just find they're the perfect addition to your mushroom cultivation endeavors. What if we told you pink oyster mushrooms offer versatile cultivation strategies? Yes, you heard right. These vibrant fungi are a true delight for any mushroom cultivator, beginner or expert, because of their adaptability and the colorful twists they bring to your mushroom farm. In the vibrant world of pink oyster mushrooms, there's a lot to explore. These mushrooms are tropical varieties, loving warm temperatures between 70 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit. They also appreciate high humidity levels, just like their blue oyster cousins. However, they're more forgiving if conditions aren't perfect, showcasing their versatility. When it comes to substrate preferences, pink oysters aren't picky eaters. They'll happily grow on a variety of substrates, including straw, wood chips, paper, or a mix of these. This adaptability makes them a great choice for those looking to experiment with different cultivation methods. Speaking of cultivation methods, pink oysters can be grown in several ways. You could use straw logs, where the substrate is packed into plastic bags or tubes, then sterilized and inoculated with spawn. Another method is using sawdust blocks, which are similar to straw logs but use sawdust as the substrate. There's also bag culture, where the substrate and spawn are mixed in a bag and left to colonize. Each method has its benefits, and the best one for you depends on your resources and cultivation goals. Now let's talk about fruiting and harvesting. Pink oysters fruit quickly, often within a week of the first pinning. They're best harvested when the edges of the caps are still slightly curled under. Be sure to harvest them promptly, as they can deteriorate quickly after maturing. When you're cultivating pink oyster mushrooms, remember that they're not just versatile in their growing conditions and methods. They're also versatile in the kitchen, making a colorful addition to many dishes with their rich, meaty flavor. That's the beauty of cultivating pink oyster mushrooms, vibrant and versatile. So why not give these pink delights a try on your mushroom farm? They might just become your new favorite. Do you know the right time to harvest your oyster mushrooms for maximum yield and quality? Let's unveil the secrets of harvesting and post-harvest handling of oyster mushrooms. Harvesting at the optimal stage of maturity is crucial. For pearl and blue oyster mushrooms, the right time is just before the cap starts to curl upwards. In contrast, pink oyster mushrooms should be harvested while the edges of the caps are still slightly enrolled. It's of utmost importance to use a sharp knife or scissors to cut the mushrooms at the base, avoiding damage to the mycelium. Remember, gentle handling is key to maintaining the quality of your harvest. Now let's talk about post-harvest handling. After harvesting, mushrooms should be promptly cleaned to remove any substrate debris. Using a soft brush often does the trick. It's essential to keep in mind that mushrooms are highly perishable. Therefore, proper packaging and storage are vital to prolong their shelf life and maintain freshness. Storing your mushrooms in a cool environment, ideally between 2 to 4 degrees Celsius, helps preserve their quality. If you're planning to sell your mushrooms fresh, consider packaging them in breathable bags or containers. But what if you want to add value to your harvest? There are numerous value-added products you can create from your oyster mushrooms. Drying is one of the simplest and most common methods. Dried mushrooms can be packaged and stored for a long time without losing their nutritional value. You can also grind dried mushrooms into powder, which can be used in a variety of culinary applications. From soups and sauces to teas and smoothies, mushroom powder is a versatile ingredient that can enhance the flavor and nutritional profile of many dishes. And let's not forget about gourmet recipes featuring fresh oyster mushrooms. They're a great way to showcase the unique flavors and textures of each variety, enhancing their marketability. And that's how you handle your harvested oyster mushrooms, ensuring freshness and quality from farm to table. So, what have we learned about the cultivation of different oyster mushroom varieties? Well, we've discovered the captivating realm of oyster mushroom cultivation, understanding that each variety, be it pearl, blue, or pink, has its unique requirements and rewards. We've delved into the world of pearl oyster mushrooms, learning about their suitability for cultivation in controlled environments. We've explored the optimal growing parameters such as temperature, humidity, substrate selection, and spawn inoculation techniques. We've also highlighted the key stages from the spawn run to pinning, fruiting, and harvesting, giving us insights into maximizing yield and quality. Next, we've examined the distinctive traits of blue oyster mushrooms and their love for high humidity environments. We've touched on the ideal growing parameters, including temperature, humidity, air circulation, and light requirements. We've also gained insights into substrate preparation, spawn inoculation methods, and fruiting chamber design, along with harvesting techniques for optimal freshness and flavor. Venturing into the vibrant world of pink oyster mushrooms, we've seen their versatility in cultivation strategies. We've discussed the suitable growing parameters, including temperature, humidity, light, and substrate preferences. We've also explored innovative cultivation methods such as straw logs, sawdust blocks, and bag cultures, along with best practices for fruiting and harvesting to preserve color and texture. Finally, we've provided guidance on harvesting techniques and post-harvest handling, ensuring we maximize yield and quality while prolonging shelf life and maintaining freshness. We've also highlighted the value-added products and culinary applications for oyster mushrooms, diversifying revenue streams and enhancing marketability. Mastering oyster mushroom cultivation is an exciting journey, and we're glad you joined us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your experiences in the comments below. Here's to your success in reaping bountiful harvests of oyster mushrooms.